My mom told me if your Turkish girlfriend really loves you, then you shouldn't change your faith for her. Back then I was agnostic and she was Muslim. But I did do my Shahada, so in my teenage years I experienced the Islamic faith. Her family didn't want us to be together unless I became Muslim. My parents said, if you must change your faith for your lover, then it's not true love. One day I was with my Turkish girlfriend with hijab in the park, and then my parents were taking a walk because they thought we had broken up. They saw us together and I was still lying to my parents and telling them, no, we're just chilling here. We don't have a relationship anymore. And even though I became Muslim and I was doing it for myself, I remember this time my best Iraqi friend told me, when you're doing this kickbox fight, step with your right foot inside the ring and say Bismillah. So I was really practicing Islam in different parts of my life. But even though I changed my faith, my Turkish ex and I got in a fight, and eventually we broke up because it was so hard between the families. I was about 18 years old and still prayed to Allah, and before eating I said Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim and practiced my faith because I didn't want to go to hell. That was my main motivation. But then later in my life I fell in love with another girl, Jamaican, and I didn't do much with faith at all. So now I know that your environment, the people you hang out with, really have tons of influence on the person you become and the faith that you eventually choose. For 9 months I was in a relationship with this Jamaican girlfriend. She didn't believe in God, although her mother did, so I had some nice conversations with her. She was Christian, I was Muslim, and she was like, well, it's the same God, which I really liked as a message, and I back then thought, yeah, it's the same God we believe in. But besides talking about God or Allah, I didn't practice my Islamic faith anymore that much. As I was about to do my 6 months internship in Germany, Hanover, I broke up with the Jamaican girlfriend with whom I was together for 9 months. She cried, she hit me at the bus station, but I thought this is the right thing to do because she was in a different stage of life back then and I was a little bit older and going for my school and career. Her dear Christian mom understood that I had broken up with her because she saw how the relationship was going. As I told you before, I just got married, and the wife I'm with now for 9 years, I met back then when I was 19 years old. She had a Catholic background but didn't do much with faith. And at that point in my life, I also didn't do much with my faith. So I started telling people I'm Catholic because I didn't do anything with Islam anymore. But I didn't even know what being Catholic meant. I just told it because my mom was so. Up until this moment in the video, I really feel like a person that was like a slut with religions, if you know what I mean. Like changing them, tasting them, trying them out. I was trying to find my identity. Later in my relationship with Anastasia, which is today my wife, we started watching tons of Christian and Islamic videos. She told me about her life. One of her best friends was a Turkish girl, and she was like, oh, Anastasia, you're also a Muslim because you believe in God and you're such a nice person, you have a good heart. And she told me about these experiences she had in her life with lots of Muslim friends here in the Netherlands, and I started speaking about mine, just as I am sharing my story with you online now. But because I told her I was Catholic, and before we were eating I still said Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, she was really confused, like, why do you say on the one hand you're Catholic and on the other hand you're practicing Islam? As I told her about my Turkish ex, the story I had told you now, she started telling me about her Bosnian ex, which was a Muslim guy, and she was like, aren't all people from Bosnia Muslim? Why do you call yourself Catholic? So I started to explain my family tree and my mom's side of the family being Catholic, my dad's side of the family being half from Montenegro and half Catholic too. My mom chose to give me a religious-free upbringing, which is why later in my life I started my own path to getting to know God. Please subscribe to my channel. It's Marko, as I share my life story about coming to faith and get to know God. By the way, in my first video there was lots of confusion. Marko, are you now Muslim or Christian? I am Christian and I will tell you my whole story, but it just doesn't fit in one video. My apologies for confusing you, someone called me a munafiq, which is someone that does as if he is a Muslim but isn't really a Muslim. I hope not to confuse people. I'm just telling my life story in bits. And I don't hate people from different religions, because Jesus says, even though if someone might be your enemy, still love them and pray for them. Thank you.